What's up? We're back. Had to play a little worship praise music on the way back. I know, yeah, everybody's so happy to see us, man. I'm happy to see you, Left. Celebratory Monday right here, Lefty Podcast. Nora Whiskey, NoraWhiskey.com. It's kind of weird talking about a Nora Whiskey over a praise break. It is what it is. Nora Boy's in the building. Malik Zaire, the original Lefty, SD2 mics, man. Look, Left. Yo, it's a great feeling, bro. It's a great feeling, man. Good times. We both had a fabulous week. Congratulations to you, bro, on you kind of hinted at it before, but officially being put out there, being the OC at your new high school in Arizona, bro. That's huge.
Thank you.
Continue to build that resume. You know, and that's why, I shut up. A lot of people say, man, when it comes to the quarterback conversation, or when other Notre Dame players are on, you kind of fade to the background. I'm like, yeah, because they know more about me. I mean, they know more about the product and the game than I do. Like, so why y'all don't want to hear me talk? Let them talk. And when it's time for me to talk, I'll talk. But when Notre Dame players show up on this podcast, it's like Debo coming in. When he comes, I shut up. And then when they leave, I talk. It is what it is, man. I know my place in the pantheon of Notre Dame culture. Left, big week for you. Once again, congratulations. I'm excited. You guys are in the craziest division in Arizona, bro. Chaparral, all of the top teams, and hopefully you can get that band leader off your practice field with some more wins.
You gain some respect around the school a little bit.
But man, last week was a big week for me and my family, man. I was able to go with 14 of my family members, accompany me and my wife out to Los Angeles to celebrate my baby girl on her graduation from the School of Theater and Film at the University of Southern California. And
hey, which one is the real USC? That's right. Which one's the real USC?
That is, because a lot of people, I have told a lot of people when they inquire about my daughter, I say, she goes to USC. And people are like, oh, she goes to South Carolina. I'm like, no. My checks do not go to South Carolina, bro. That rent money does not go to the state of South Carolina. It goes to that overpriced left coast called Los Angeles, California, man. So last week, people were wondering, like, where's Lefty? Like, dude, last week was a celebratory week. We took the week off. And we actually went into the week with good intentions, Left. We had every intention to do shows. I'm like, okay, cool. And then it was like, I told you, when you travel with a lot of people, bro, there is no time. There is no downtime.
Yeah, it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, dude, I trying to get people to just eat at the same time. It's a task, bro. It's a task. And then trying to find a place where everyone can eat and not pout. Like, I'll give you an example, right? So I have a very eclectic palate. I love trying new things. I love trying different cuisines. It's all about the experience for me, bro. Like, if the experience is great and the food is not as great, it's still enjoyable to me. It's still enjoyable to me. So the challenge for me is I can say it, man, my brother and his sons are like the people that go out of town and eat the same thing that they eat in Chicago.
Oh, okay. So they're not diversifying their palate enough.
No, they want tacos, they want Chipotle, they want California pizza.
How you going?
It's literally the same thing, right? So we had the graduation. At the graduation, baby girl wanted to kick it. So we went back to the hotel. Shout out to my boy Sid Nolan, who set them up at the Harriet we went to the Harriet.
Yep.
When I was,
Yep.
set them up at the Harriet with their own private booth and everything. They kicked it there. And then my mother, she wants to try everything new. Like, take me to the best breakfast spot. Take me to the best soul food
Oh,
spot.
she went to experience.
That's along my line. That's how I operate when I go out of town, right?
Yeah.
So we went to the day after graduation. She had 2 graduations. Wednesday was the Black Student Union graduation, which was absolutely fantastic. Shout out to baby girl. She jumped it off with the Black National Anthem. She killed it. Then, the Divine Nine, they put on their show, during and afterwards, which was incredible to see all 9 frats and sororities on stage strolling. It was an absolutely incredible experience and inspiring to a lot of the kids that came with us, which is another benefit of it. They got to see someone walk across the stage, but then they got to kind of absorb the experience of college from that perspective and what the end game could be, so that was another impactful situation that I felt like was absolutely incredible for some of the younger family members. And then Villa Tacos, I fell in love, bro. Have you ever had Villa Tacos at the?
Ever had Villa Tacos?
Oh,
right.
God. So in order to serve everyone, I took them to the downtown market. Have you ever been to the market downtown?
Yep, been to the market downtown.
So I hit up Villa Tacos, and Villa Tacos, their logo is in the form of the Dodger script, and I've heard about the tacos before, but I had the chicken queso taco. So you choose your protein, but then the style of taco, which is like a regular, which is just regular onions and cilantro, and then the queso is like avocado, sour cream, cheese, onions. And then they have another that's pretty much just loaded, right? I forget what the name of that is. But I had the chicken queso tacos and a steak queso.
Chicken queso taco.
Bro, first of all, I don't even like avocado and guacamole. Hate it.
Really?
Hate it. This is the first time I thoroughly enjoyed guacamole on a taco.
You don't like Chipotle's guacamole? That's how you get into it?
No.
Wow.
No, this is the first time on Villa Tacos that I was like, oh, snap. I don't know what they do with their guac, but this is amazing.
Was it more lime or like lemony, or
I think it had, it was almost the aftertaste of the avocado guacamole that got me. But for some reason, the way they seasoned it, it was a little bit more salty sweet in a sense. And so it was okay. It was okay. It was cool. But I was just like, yo, this is crazy. So we took my daughter the day after her graduation from the Black Student Union on Wednesday. We took her to Cascades. For those of you who don't know, Cascades is a fantastic restaurant in the hills of Burbank. So I took her to Cascades, and, we're sitting there, and dude, the view is great. The experience is great. If you watch All Eyes on Me, the movie, and in documentaries, you've heard several people from Death Row talk about Cascades, like having dinners at Cascades, things of that nature. So
that's right.
So it's a fabulous spot. And here, dude, my nephew is sitting there like, ain't nothing on the menu. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Ain't nothing on the menu. No.
Dude,
No.
Stuff like that, bro. It's just, the experience. Everybody doesn't appreciate certain things. They're just real simple. Like him and my brother, they're real simple, bro. Just, take us to the familiar spots. We're good. And it's like, just trying to pull all of that together, bro. Make sure everybody gets what they want. They want to go see the Kobe murals. And it's like, okay, which one? Because there's several Kobe murals around the city. So, you let me know. Then, my sister, one of my twin sisters, she's a huge Kobe fan. So she wanted to go in front of the stadium and take a picture with his statue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, but it was a true blessing that all of us were able to go.
Yes.
Regardless of all of that.
Everybody to one place is the goal right there.
and to be able to celebrate my baby girl, she was absolutely, it was crazy. Like, you know how you see someone and you still realize this is the moment I realized she's still a kid. She's still a kid. Like she's walking across stage. She's 21. She can get in a club. She's grown. She's man. She had a job yesterday. I called her after church. She was like, "Daddy, I'm in makeup. You know, I'm hustling this, that, and other." And I'm like, "Cool, go do your thing. Hit me later." And it's just crazy that she gets through with all of this celebration into adulthood, to the next stage of her life. And everybody's like, okay, you know, this is the last day before we all leave. What do you want to do? You know what she said?
What'd she say?
I want to go to Six Flags.
Oh, okay. I want to have a little fun.
And we're like, what? She's like, yeah, I want to go to Six Flags. I'm like, all right. It threw me for a loop, like she's still a kid at heart. I said, I still love that. Dude. So, yo, that's where we've been. That's catching everybody up on this past week. It was fabulous. Yo, the Friday graduation, Not Like Us, was blasting off. I'm like, yo, let me tell you something. Hey, nothing else needs to be said. I was out in LA for an entire week. I heard Drake on the radio twice. The entire week. Twice. They were playing Kendrick 3 times, twice an hour, all day long on multiple stations. Ladies and gentlemen, the war is over. It's over. It's a wrap. And we're going to talk about it on Three's Company this week. We're going to dive in depth because it's bigger than Kendrick. That's what I believe right now. Especially with
it's bigger than Kendrick.
That's coming out today with this thing up in the hotel. Dude, I just wanted the music. Now it's turned into something.
It's something totally different now.
It's totally different. But Left, you okay, bro? Because your boy Drake is on the mat and LeBron is at the crib. So
it's a lot. It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on. A lot to take in. I think the hardest thing is that you're seeing guys that we love so much in positions they haven't been in or faced with. LeBron being faced with a lot of different unique experiences. Year 22, you know, your coaching changes every other year, and the blame is starting to narrow down a little bit more in the being not too many places to turn to. You know, you got your son coming into the league, and then, you know, getting another first round exit doesn't look good on the legacy. So a lot he's dealing with right now. And then he dancing to Drake's diss song. I thought him and Drake were boys. I thought Drake was a father. I mean, LeBron was a father figure to Drake. So, I mean, good grief.
Only father he's had.
Yeah. So it seems like 24 man, Cat Williams done definitely set off a bomb that is still releasing to this day.
Man, look, it is, you know, Coach Vic, we're going to get to that. That's a very interesting question that you put out there that we're definitely going to tap into. But Left, some very interesting things happened over the weekend. Some interesting things happened as far as Notre Dame. And what's going on with this quarterback situation in the class of 26? It seems like we have 2 finalists, right? 2 guys that are ahead of everybody that serves ahead of everyone on the board for Notre Dame and the coaching staff. And we'll probably dig into that a little bit more on tomorrow's show. But right now, I want to play for you something that I found very interesting. And I think we could really connect to Notre Dame and what's to come. Check this out, Left.
Because a lot of times in this league, that's a hard thing to do when you're on a team like this. Where did you learn to be selfless?
That's a great transition, Katie. You saw big fella step in the room, huh? That guy, man, that's where I learned to be selfless. I learned it from him, man. He's the best basketball player in the world, 3-time MVP, and he's the most selfless, humble dude that you'll ever meet. So if a 3-time MVP can do it, I can do it too.
Aaron going post-game after Game 4 of the Western Conference Divisional round, and I'm going to say something left, and then we're going to ask the question to Notre Dame fans and how this applies to this Notre Dame team moving into 2024. It's safe to say that he is possibly the third best player on his team, but in these playoffs, he's probably made the two biggest plays individually, and he's probably had two of the biggest performances in the most pivotal games in both series to this date.
You think so?
Oh yeah. First of all, that offensive rebound again. The offense. No. The offensive rebound. Both offensive rebounds in game 2 and in game 5 against the Lakers.
Yeah, that was big. That was big.
And it's not. It's almost like the hockey assist, right? Like he's the hockey assist guy. Like he's not the guy that's going to score the point or hit the game-winning shot. But he just finds a way to make big plays, right? And And he's a dude, in my opinion, he's talented enough to average 18 and 10 or average 19 and 10 if he had 15 to 20 shots on another team again. But he is so comfortable and selfless to fit into his role on that team for the bigger good, or the greater good, shall I say. This is something that I think Notre Dame is going to have to find, right? Because we think we know who the better players are, but who are going to be those ancillary guys that can buy into this is your role. This is what we need you for. And if you can do this at a high level, you're going to come up with 2 or 3 of the biggest plays of the season when we need it the most. And
I think one of those players that stand out to me off the top of the head saying that is a guy like Christian Gray, where you have a room that's cultivated in the right spaces. And if he can become a very good third corner or a very good complement to what a Ben Morrison is providing to their team's number one, and him coming in as that 2 or 3 corner, being able to be that lockdown third down guy or that mismatch that teams think they can take advantage of because they're not throwing the Ben. Christian Gray can fit himself in a perfect role where he may not be the best secondary player, but he's in the positions of some of the best plays in the game, because I feel like they're going to shy away a lot from Ben Morrison and Xavier Whiteside and try the youngin. That's very talented, very similar to what we have in Ben Morrison, just untested as much to where he can get those opportunities. So, and he's playing in a good room where the eyes aren't always on him, but the spotlight is, to where you're in a room with some big dogs that you have to be able to step up to their level of play. But by doing that, not being that number one guy or that headliner showcase guy, you can still gain a lot of attention and attraction that you're probably looking for, especially under Mike Mickens leading that entire secondary unit, that confidence that's growing in the back end, along with Al Golden being a third-year install for a defense that's looking to, climb higher in the top 10. I think Christian Gray is a perfect example of a guy that can find his way and be in an ancillary role, that Aaron Gordon to what they're doing over there, or maybe even a KCP, not necessarily that Aaron Gordon staple, but a KCP impact where he's going to get the steal for you at late in the clutch. He's going to hit the three. He's going to double team. He's going to take the charge, championship type of play. But it may not be what it's going to take to win the game in terms of, we need a Ben Morrison to win this game, but Christian Gray can change moments in the game to help this secondary a lot. So he stands out immediately when you talk about who are those Aaron Gordon or ancillary players that you need in order to win a championship, but may not be the best player in the league.
I started thinking about it from an offensive standpoint, Left, and I really wanted to go with your guy, especially coming off his performance in the blue and gold game. Right?
Oh, Aeneas Williams?
Yeah, we talk about Jadarian. We know the top 2 in Jeremiah Love, and I kept thinking, man, this cat Aeneas Williams.
Aeneas Williams written all over it.
Left was on him. From the left, I have to give you credit, man. Before he even committed, you saw his film. You were like,
on his film, I could tell.
This dude is going
to be He's the perfect versatile plug player because of his size, he's not a tiny guy that you only can use for certain instances. He's not the speedy, athletic guy either, to where, oh, this is a track star at running back. He's that perfect mix of what you need to get tough yards, but also what you need to create mismatches because of what he can do. He can run routes well enough. He can catch well enough. He can he can break tackles. That I think is his best attribute. But break tackles in open space, not just running through the line of scrimmage and knocking off the big dudes. He's somebody that you can put in space on a bubble, a screen, a little short route, and he can make the most out of it and be that unusual matchup that teams aren't going to be expecting. They're going to be expecting a Jeremiah Love being flashy, electric, hard to stop, got him, tough to bring to the ground. Jadarian Price is your 4-minute back. He's going to provide some tough runs, but also he got a little speed on him if you let him get around the edge. And then you got your Aeneas Williams, who's that gadget type of back that can give you a little bit of both. But if anything, it's going to be a hard mismatch because you're going to have to track him all over the field. He's a sideline guy, and I love his creativeness in the open field. He's not a guy that's going to go down on a shoestring. He might be a guy that might make one of the most exciting plays of the game, and he may only touch the ball 5 or 6 times in a game. So he's got that type of impact, and I noticed it from film, and I'm not surprised that he translated that to the spring game and what he provides for that team.
So somebody else defensively that I think, because in a sense, I think Javonte Jean-Baptiste played the Aaron Gordon role. Very quiet, but so solid, especially, setting the edge for Notre Dame in the run game defensively. And then, he came up with some big plays at big moments, right? And so coming from Ohio State, where the program and the fan base had gotten down on him, what he was able to provide for Notre Dame. You look at R.J. Oben and you say, if R.J. Oben can provide the same security at that position, the same leadership and stability at that position, but maybe add a little bit more pressure sack to the package, now we're cooking with fish grease. And that's somebody that I think defensively, R.J. Oben could be that Aaron Gordon type, where
R.J. Oben
would cross, possibly, some of the other guys that are flashy or known, but somehow, some way, he ends up with 2 or 3 very demonstrative plays at certain types of the game, late in the game in the fourth quarter, that could turn the tide. And you look back as you go through the playoff and say, I remember that play, and it was huge in the landscape.
Yeah, and I think that's the benefit of what your expectations are for a transfer. It may not be that, like we talk about Chris Mitchell, may not be receiver 1, but he's receiver 1B. Mm-hmm. He may not be the Isaiah Fauski 25 sack career at Notre Dame, but he can be right under that to where he provides enough pressure for the other team to where Riley Mills can do better. Jason Onye can get some attention. Your Howard Cross can get freed up a little more. And that attention that he's going to cause is what we need as a sidecar to what this production of the defensive line needs to be better at. So that's why I see it as a compliment and not as, he's going to be the change of the tide. If anything, he's only going to allow that other group to highlight themselves and put themselves in a position of more one-on-ones, more opportunities to get sacks on third downs. The offensive line has to scheme for R.J. Oben due to the talent, due to what he's shown on film, due to his experience. So maybe he isn't going to be our number 1 sack guy, but he'll be the stimulus package to why we have more sacks this year, if it's directly or indirectly because of him. So I think that the defensive line and Al Washington and those guys are going to feed well off of RJ as that stimulus package. It's like that Drake stimulus package. You throw Drake on the beat, he's going to give you way more views than you probably would by yourself. And with RJ Oben being thrown in our defensive line unit, he's going to give us more sack production, maybe not from an individual, but from the group more so because of what he offers from a talent perspective. Jean-Baptiste was a great comparison because you look at him as that side player due to him being a transfer. He may not be the homegrown Notre Dame talent 4 for 40 that we grew up with, but to be a nice compliment to add to that defensive line to areas in which we couldn't do ourselves based on last year. I think this is a great pickup. And, he's shown some flashes in the spring game that, he's going to have to cause some attention. And that's really what you can ask for. Like, cause enough attention to boost your own film up, getting ready to try to go to the league and all that under a defensive system that is proven, a defensive system that can put you in position to make some bigger plays over here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that R.J. Obens, his impact is more succinct and it fits better than what I think of Riley Leonard impact being that just because they're from the same school, but the weight of what the transfers are different. I think his weight of what him transferring to this D-line is more beneficial than what the weight of what Riley Leonard's transfer could mean for the quarterback room.
Yeah, someone else on offense. I think Bo Collins, because of his size and his ability and his route running.
Okay.
I think Bo Collins. See, I'm not looking for Bo Collins to come in and give me 40, 50 catches, bro.
No. He's a 20-catch specialist.
And a third down conversion guy.
Okay.
You need a big.
Don't you like Jaden Greathouse too? I like Jaden Greathouse.
Jaden Greathouse is like Jamal Murray to me, bro.
Okay.
Jaden Greathouse is like the closer.
Okay.
You know what I'm
get that. I get that.
And whoever the quarterback needs to be Jokic on this team, bro. Whoever the quarterback is,
the quarterback
offense needs to run. He's a big man. He's a big man that the ball is in his hands every play.
But
the quarterback
isn't the most important guy on the team.
I didn't say. See, this is the thing. If I asked you, because I think this is debatable. I'm not asking you who the best player on the Denver Nuggets is. I'm asking you who is the most important player on the Denver Nuggets. See, it's easy to say Jokic.
It just so happened that Jokic is both. That's all.
But because we know Jokic is somewhat of a defensive liability.
Okay.
Aaron Gordon's ability to guard AD. Wait a minute. They go from one series, Aaron Gordon, we need you to guard AD because Jokic can't handle him.
That's fine because they got a good matchup for it.
Right. Now, Aaron Gordon, we need you to you got to guard Anthony Edwards. if you take that piece off of the Denver Nuggets, it'll be
a different series for sure.
Who are they really? They're a totally different team. Of course, if you take Jokic, they're going to be a different team.
Yeah, different team. But Aaron Gordon is a different impact too, though.
Yeah. So even though the numbers might not bear it out, Bo Collins can still be very important.
He's hurt though. He's like a Deion Cosley to me. If he's a souped up Deion Cosley.
What do you mean he's hurt? He wasn't hurt for Clemson.
No, I'm just saying for us, he hasn't been able to be as active.
No, he couldn't play in the spring. He was still an active student at Clemson.
Oh, that's right. He
just graduated.
Right. He was graduated. Yeah. Well, hopefully his impact, like you said, I can envision that being
big body, red zone
specialist, the Corey Robinson effect, and Denbrock having that situation before where he's had a guy that was technically special in certain areas. He was able to do that with Corey very well. I think he'll be able to take that same script and apply it to a Bo Collins, who I don't think is looking to be that every down receiver anyway, looking to be more part of a unit. Because remember, we didn't even have Bo Collins in the spring and was finding it hard to get to just 6 receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's only going to be harder, going into this fall camp and this summer because somebody's going to be disappointed.
Man, let me tell you something. It is going to be very interesting. And, dude, it's enough. We'll leave the quarterback debate alone. We'll leave it alone for right now. No need to talk about it unless we hear from the players, and we're going to hear from Chris Mitchell because we didn't get a chance to hear from Chris Mitchell and Steve Angeli post-game from the Blue and Gold game. We'll just dig into some of the things they said, and then we're going to hear from Al Washington coming up in the second half of the show, talking about expectations for the defense. And something he said that I think is vitally important for the Notre Dame fan base to kind of temper things, especially early on in the season. Because I fully expect a top 10, heck, top 5 defense at the end of the season? Will we get that type of performance right out of the gate? Some things that might make us want to say, we don't need that early on, but we're definitely going to need that into November in the playoffs. But early on, can they be a top 20 defense and still continue to run the table and get better? We'll talk about some of the areas that might need a little bit of time to get to that top 5 level and reach the expectations that Notre Dame has. Lucky Lefty Podcast, SD2 Mike Sean Davis, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire, brought to you by Adore Whiskey. So I don't know if you saw this, Left. Anthony Edwards, as he left the table, and this plays into what we're talking about. As he left the table with his press conference yesterday, Left, he looked down at the stat sheet, and I think I might paraphrase this because I forget the exact words, but as he walked off the podium, he looked down at the stat sheet and said, man, I'm getting sick and tired of Aaron Gordon. That just lets you know.
No, yeah.
He didn't say I'm getting sick and tired of Jokic. He didn't say I'm getting sick and tired of Jamal Murray.
Aaron Gordon weighing on him.
It is that ancillary dude. It's that
it's
dude.
Ancillary dude.
It's the dude that seems to have a knack for making the big plays and doing big time things in series. This extends upon the conversation we're already having, Left. Who do you think is going to be a guy, coaching staff, players of opposing teams, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, that second quarter, third quarter, they're looking at each other on the sideline saying, man, I'm getting tired of this dude. I'm sick and tired of this dude already.
I feel like I got a surprise one. So my surprise won't be an Eli Raritan. I think if Steve's in the game, Eli Raritan, he just looks so much bigger on TV that if you get him going second half, he'll wear teams down. Just being a big body running through the middle, blocking, doing different ancillary things. I think an Eli Raritan, unsuspectingly, a second half player can just be like, oh my gosh, we got, just when we thought we had everything else, we got this huge tight end just in the way. He's just in the way, just making plays. Hard to live without him. We usually, even if we change our offensive style up, we still find a way to hit the quarterback. Hit the tight end in certain situations where it's like he's the only guy we got for some reason. It's like, why do we think that's the only guy? Even in the spring game, Eli Raritan is just always around the football. The football's always around him. So that's a guy that can come across as like, oh man, he's that icing on top that makes it too tough for teams to overcome. And then obviously a guy that I really want to see be that player for us is a Chris Mitchell. A Chris Mitchell where, teams think they got us figured out and Chris Mitchell just hits them over the head, big play. Oh, they think they got us on another one. Chris Mitchell, another big play, big catch, big run after catch. So his big play ability, I think, could be that back-breaking effect that our offense can have, because he's proved it last year with the most receptions in college football, but also providing a speed that on the outside that we can actually take advantage of with Denbrock being our offensive coordinator, with the receivers and the quarterbacks having more of a chemistry this year. Chris Mitchell's impact that's needed to be added to this offense, but also can be backbreaking once we start rolling on teams. So this can take what we do and take so long to get to these 50-point blowouts, and by the fourth quarter, he can shorten that to get to halftime, right? We can make more out of what we're taking so long to do, having a Chris Mitchell being able to be that game breaker and have that game breaker ability.
Look, I think along the lines of an irritant, right? And I don't know if Aaron Gordon is an irritant because he doesn't talk a lot of trash. I think, but his game is irritating, right? Like, dude, oh my God, this dude is like 8 for his last 9 from 3-point range. Like, when did this dude start popping 3-pointers?
Yeah, when he starts just shooting.
This dude is getting big off. He's really start doing that. Like, they've been pressuring Jamal Murray and Jokic, who are the main ball handlers. So, what Mike Malone did coming back game 3, you guys go down court. We're going to let him because they got Rudy Gobert on Aaron Gordon. So we're just going to allow Aaron Gordon to bring the ball up because he can.
Yeah.
He just has that ability. He's an irritant, man. It's like,
can't get a beat on him.
He is the piece that kind of unlocks everything else. Like whatever Denver needs to go to defensively and offensively, when people try to take certain things away, okay, we're going to go through Aaron. Aaron's going to relieve some of this pressure. And that is a great tool. And I think Jordan Faison can be that. Like we can sit up here and talk about Jaden Greathouse. We can sit up here and talk about Bo Collins in the red zone. We can sit up here and talk about Chris Mitchell. We can talk about the quarterbacks. We can talk about the running backs, man. But let me tell you something. Jordan Faison, just his size is just an irritant. He can just run around, get to spaces, make plays, quick screens. You don't know how Notre Dame is going to use him. He's just all over the place. Yeah. That's the type of thing that's like, dude, okay, we have to worry about these dudes. And it's this little dude. Here's this little dude once again doing something, making a play. He can be that type of irritant for Notre Dame. Like I said, it puts him in a perfect place when he does not have to be the 1 or 2 option. And people were like so frantic to say he could be the number 1. No. Just let him be the irritant. Let him just run around and just irritate defenses, coaches all season long, because they have to focus on Chris Mitchell. They have to focus on Jaden Greathouse. Like, dude, that's his perfect spot. Let him be the irritant, dude. And I think he's going to have a fantastic impact on the season. Absolutely. That would be my choice for, guys that halfway through the game or coaches going to be like, this dude again?
Yeah, and I think you have a definitely case in point with Jordan Faison. It just depends on how he's implementing the offense. I mean, we don't have to necessarily rely on a Jordan Faison if we're just sticking to looking at the white sheet of paper and looking at the recruits and talent that we have on the roster. Obviously, his credit from last year is going to add into this, but even still, you got guys that we really believe in that are healthy. We got some young guys that can have that same sort of impact, provided how they fit into this offense, but also who these quarterbacks trust the most. And I think Steve has a good rapport, especially after watching that bowl game last year, of him and Jordan Faison really connecting. But we've also added a lot of pieces for Steve Angeli to play with, right? We added Chris Mitchell, Bo Collins, and KK Smith, Mike Gilbert. We've added guys that have shown that, they can do just as much of an impact that a Jordan Faison has had. Because remember, Jordan Faison wasn't a Michael Floyd 100 receptions, 1,000-yard guy. He only had 19 receptions. That can be replaced in the mind of an offensive coordinator, where you're looking at a roster like, well, we got this Jaden Greathouse, this Micah Gilbert, these young guys, these guys coming in that can give you the same 19 receptions, but maybe in a bigger way. So that's where we come to. We have a surplus that we're trying to figure out who are the most productive 6 out of the 9 guys that we feel like can get it done. So that's just something in the summer is going to have to figure itself out. But Jordan Faison is well in phase to be in that top 6. Mm-hmm. Now we're talking about who's getting the ball the most. You got to knock it down to top 3. And that's going to be a tough decision. Who's getting the ball in the clutch? Who's our top 3 that we can go to in the clutch? So, the 6 is tough, but 3 is even tougher when it comes to making game decision, situation, game, and play calls, because who knows who can step up to that plate in those moments.
Defensively, I have somebody who I think can be a Dennis Rodman type defensively.
A Jordan Patello?
No. It's all the buzz has been about Drake Bowen, KVA, Riley Mills, Howard Cross, Xavier Watts, Benjamin Morrison. You know who can do everything. You know who blitzes off of the edges and packages.
Jalen Sneed.
You know who comes in the linebacker position. You know who's one of the best coverage linebackers on the team. You know who is like the Swiss Army knife. Jalen Sneed. He is somebody that can just irritate the heck out of offenses, because he can at any time from any place on the field or from several places on the field make plays.
He gives you a Dallas Turner vibe.
I don't know if he's there.
Impact.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. They have certain physical skill sets. similar physical skill sets. The ability Dallas Turner could drop into coverage.
Just a game disruptor.
Yeah. The production yet? No. Have to see it. Hopefully it's this.
Well, he hasn't got enough opportunity.
Yeah. But he could definitely be an irritant. I can see him irritating the heck out of offensive coordinators and offenses, bro. And he likes to talk.
Because he'll move around.
Yeah.
He's not just in one place. He'll be left side one time, right side one time blitzing down the middle. His chase down, his side to side speed is there. So Jalen Sneed has that highest level of exciting impact, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much, I think you know what you're getting with everybody else on the defensive unit. But from we know, but then there's another level he can also come out with that we haven't seen yet, and that's a Jalen Sneed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he could be one of the greatest irritants. And my backup would be Abubakar Traore.
Oh, he was cooking.
Jason Onye. But if we're making comparisons to guys that are going to be, I think Jalen Sneed is going to be on the field a little bit more.
Yes.
Than Traore and Onye.
Yes.
So if I'm going to compare him to an Aaron Gordon type that's in the starting five. Now we're just talking about bench players. They're going to be able to come in and make an impact. I think that's when we start getting into the Jason Onye range, the Abubakar Traore range, with guys that are going to be depth that can be very impactful and make big plays throughout the season. But as far as the guys that are going to be on the field for the majority of the snaps as starters, I surely believe that is going to be a guy like that, and maybe even a Jordan Clark from what we heard. Because Jordan Clark is another one of those guys that we saw in the blue and gold game. They're going to love blitzing him from that slot position. His ability to make big plays, interceptions, force fumbles. Can he play a little safety, play a little nickel? He's another one that can be moved around by Al Golden and make big plays. We saw a little bit of that. They teased us a little bit with that in the blue and gold game. It's going to be very interesting to see if he can become one of those irritants on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Yeah. I think it's exciting because this makes the team exciting is that it's an open field. We got a couple of candidates in different positions that we're like, well, if he catches the right wave, he might be an impact player on the team this year. And we have multiple guys like that where we're just like, okay, you're ready to pop off. Let's see if this is your season, or even if this is your season of compliment to help, somebody else get their chance. So I think that's the difference between this year and last year is that we last year we knew about guys. This year we're excited about these same guys. Where we knew they was there, we knew they could potentially do something, but now the expectation is raised even more the year after. And now we're like, okay, these are the push the red button type players that it's time to turn up, and we're excited for it, and we're counting on. We're banking a lot of our season on what we believe the impact of these guys that are talented yet unproven in that sphere of a college football schedule. But what we know in-house is that, all these guys have potential to go to that next level with the team and how they're set up from a defensive structure to where the team is in year 3, the confidence the team has. So I'm expecting a greater production because of expectations in year 3 than just saying, we have good players ready to play this year.
Lefty Podcast. When we come back, we'll hear from Coach Al Washington and a couple of Notre Dame players that may play pivotal roles in the 2024 season and how things bear out for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We'll be right back. Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know we spin it different.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Lefty podcast back in the building. The Nora Boys, Sean Davis, Malik Zaire, brought to you by Nora Whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. Their premium American whiskey, NoraWhiskey.com. I talked about my trip out to the left coast, left. It was amazing to me how quickly anthems become fire around the world, bro. Just and coming back with a little bit of that Dipset. Dipset was like the standard for anthems, right? Just the standard for songs that became anthems and sayings and ended up becoming the core of culture, right? I'm trying to think. I'll be honest, Left. I've never seen anything hit like Not Like Us. Never.
In terms of the song itself, or
that's an immediate like implosion. As soon as it hit, it just boom. Because you have to think about the incubator of the beef that it was released into, bro. So most things when it comes to beefs stay they stay within those parameters, right? And they're discussed within those parameters. People know that it's part of the beef, but it plays like a hit song. It just plays like a hit song.
They singing the disses that are serious disses is like club bangers, that's the Drake effect. But Kendrick ended up stepping on his move like that.
I was in college when Hit 'Em Up dropped. Hit 'Em Up is seen as one of the most disrespectful. I was in high school when No Vaseline dropped. So I've been around like when two of the most visceral tracks dropped. No Vaseline wasn't a club hit. No, we listened to it, but no one was like going to a party and No Vaseline was like getting it lit on the dance floor. No one was playing Hit 'Em Up like that. Like it just didn't have that fire to it, bro. It was not as nuclear as Not Like Us. Nobody was saying, yo, hit 'em up. That wasn't a chant. Like Not Like Us is a chant. Worldwide. It is a chant. It has taken off. It is absolutely incredible because what it's done is that now this is the beautiful thing. Like I've had people contact me that had never given the catalog of Kendrick Lamar a chance, hit me up and say, yo, To Pimp a Butterfly is cold. Yo, this To Pimp a Butterfly album. Oh, this Good Kid, Mad City album is incredible. Yeah. It is. And I think Notre Dame is going to experience that type of, like the next time Notre Dame wins a national championship, I think it's going to be nuclear, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going because of the worldwide fan base, the brand. When Notre Dame hits, it is going to be a Not Like Us moment. Like,
yes.
No, Not Like Us.
Well, they say don't let us win it because we're going to win it our way. Mm-hmm. And we got a lot of pent up energy for a lot of y'all that have been dissing us for this long. And at the time where college football is, if Notre Dame wins it, the way Notre Dame has been doing it this whole time is going to shake up the game because they're going to have to respect and respond to the method of getting after it. Will put to shame a lot of this stuff that people are doing to get these super teams that they're buying and paying for. So it will have all the leverage in the world in the college football eyes, especially when it comes to making rules and changing how things are. And on top of that, we're independent. We basically would be like how Kendrick took all the copyright down on his YouTube and let everybody make money. Because we don't need nobody else. Yeah, everybody eats. We don't need nobody else to parlay on to join our bandwagon once we win, like how these other schools like Ohio State is rooting for Michigan when they're in the national championship. No. If y'all rivals, stay rivals. That's how we would stay so succinctly and clear as a winner, because we are going through the hate already. We don't have a bunch of friends in this game.
No.
So to be able to win, and in spite of all this non-supportal effort when it comes to these playoffs, where these conferences are crying to guarantee spots in the playoffs, where they're trying to shove us out. They're begging for guaranteed spots when they're not even trying to make room for us to come in being undefeated or not. We could only get so high. So for us to win a championship in under those circumstances, we would have a lot more leverage to make a lot more bark to our bite.
See, I got Irish Guardian not. We're going to get some questions from the fan base. Sully Malik is a Kendrick stan. Let me defend my boy. See, he's not a Kendrick stan. Let me explain to you. Malik is loyal, man. Malik is loyal, bro. And I have to respect it. He's going to die on that hill. He's going to die on that hill. See, Malik is not one of these dudes that did not or chose to ignore the fact that Kendrick has skills. That wasn't Malik.
Yes, Malik
wasn't like, he wasn't out here like, oh, we're going to dog walk this dude. Like, we ain't worried about this dude. This dude only drops it once every 5 years. Malik wasn't that dude. Malik just believed in the machine. He just believed in the machine. Same way he believes in LeBron James. He just believes in LeBron James. He knew Jokic. He knew Denver had their number. He just believed. He's like, I'm dying on this hill. I'm dying on this hill. And I have to respect him.
That's right.
Him, And I'll be honest. I've spoken to Left. Left has stepped up and faced the music, man. you Notre Dame fans will be happy to know. He has lifted his chin. You remember that scene in the park?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, he got heart. Oh, you got heart. You got heart, little homie. You got heart.
Yeah,
That's been left all last week. Left has shown some heart. Stuck his little chin up in the air, like, go ahead, take this. Take this. That's been left all week. He's had some heart. And I think that's the Notre Dame fan base, man. You can say what you want to say. We stand on that hill for Notre Dame. But at the end of the day, when other teams and programs and fan bases come talking, hey, we stick our chin in the air. Yeah, you're right. It's been since 1988. Yep, we got heart though. We're going to take it. Because guess what? When we do win it, because it's coming. When we do win it, it's going to be a Not Like Us chant. It's going to be viral. It's going to be a fire that's going to be worldwide. And that's going to be a long year for the rest of college football. A long year. You better believe it. Let's hear from Al Washington, Left. He talked about expectations for this defense in 2024. I'm very interested in seeing, how LL Nation views these comments.
Expectation is to build on what was done. Now, when I say that, last year is over. Like that has nothing to do with this year. But year 3, we got to play faster. We got to be quicker with our decisions on the field, and we have and I think that is the case, and that is the expectation. So, and our players, credit them, they'd say the same thing. I think we just have to continue to build. Every year you're out there, you got to be better than the year prior. And that's just what it is.
I'm glad to hear these coaches say, multiple coaches on the defensive staff say last year doesn't mean a thing, man. Doesn't mean a thing. Like regardless of, expectations built upon that, this is a brand new group with a lot of first-time starters. And that's what I would like to present today, Left. As much as I believe in the talent, I just don't fully expect them to come out in College Station as a top 5 team. I don't on defense. There's going to.
You don't think that will be top 5 coming out?
No, I don't think what we see against Texas, they're going to be a really good defense against Texas A&M. Let's please.
Yeah. We'll be
They're going to be a good defense against Texas A&M. I think they're going to be absolutely fantastic once November rolls around. I think the more reps these young linebackers get under their belts.
Oh yeah, they'll provide they stay healthy. We should be solid in that position.
The more reps that the depth gets, this defense is going to be one of those defenses that just comes at you in waves. They just come at you in waves. Like the second string comes in. Here's Jason Onyé, who's Boubacar Traore. They just come at you in waves, man. Here comes KVA. Dude, they just come, dude. Just waves. Minimal drop-off, especially when you get towards the middle and the latter part of the season. I think you're going to see this defense really become dominant. Become dominant. Now, I think the early schedule lends itself to the youngsters being able to get their sea legs, you know, and get a good foundation under them to be able to take off. I think that Louisville game is perfect. Revenge, 3-4 games under their belt. Man, here we go. You're going to see them really take off right there.
Yeah, and it's just how I see it. And it's different than last year where we don't have these quote unquote emotional setup games. I think even our whole schedule is an even keel sort of thing where each game is weighted pretty much the same and having the same level of importance in terms of how we look at it and should look at it in terms of these are games we should dominate. I don't think there's a game that we're going to have heightened emotion and then the next week be drained of that emotion going into the week where we're sleepwalking early on. I think this is a pretty consistent schedule of you got to come bring it, obviously. But if we do our job, we should be fine. Mm-hmm. And we should be confident. And if we just do our job, I think a lot of what we felt last year, I don't think those are the same feelings we'll have this year.
I think it's going to be absolutely incredible to see the growth and metamorphosis of this defense throughout this season. Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's switch over to the offensive side of the ball. And I think someone you talked about earlier in the show, Chris Mitchell, his importance. This is his outlook on the spring, what he wanted to do, what he wanted to accomplish, and how he sees the quarterbacks.
I'm just trying to, my whole spring, my whole goal was just to get to know the guys, you know, become closer to them, you know, build a bond, a connection on and off the field, and I feel like I did that. And on the field, just learning the playbook and the offense and just trying to get well with that because you can't play fast and play smart if you don't know what you got on the play or your assignment. So that's just my whole goal.
Throughout spring, and you've taken a lot of reps with Steve. And what have your thoughts been on him and also the talent in the quarterback room from top to bottom?
Yes, sir. The QB room is extremely talented. There's a lot of competition. It's healthy competition. They're pushing each other every day in, day out. And just to see them battling through all the hard things they have to control in the offense, you know, it's a lot on their shoulders. And just seeing them overcome that it's a lot. So it's just, I'm really proud of them boys. And then Steve, just having a connection with him on and off the field. You know, we got class together, we hang out together. He's cool people. So just playing with him and just having that connection on the field and off the field is good to have.
Who did you say? Who did you point out the connection with Chris Mitchell was? Early in the show? When you talked about Chris Mitchell, you were like, yo, Chris Mitchell has a connection with Steve. That's obvious. Yeah. And here Chris Mitchell is after the game saying, hey, I took it as he's saying, yo, that's my guy. Steve is my guy.
I wouldn't go that far. I've heard guys that
go ahead. You've been in that locker room. You've been in that. I'm happy that players at Notre Dame, skilled players, say positive things about the quarterback other than they run well. Other than they run well. I'm glad to hear stuff.
They run well, yeah.
I'm just happy.
We don't want to hear it about running well, but it's good that he's aware that he's in Steve's mind, that he can go to him when in doubt or even when not in doubt. Just be able to be that outlet and build that rapport, and almost like a Kyle Pitts, Kirk Cousins situation where he's like, I just want you to throw me the ball a couple times a game. You know, you can have my jersey number with you. I just need a couple targets and we good. So I'm glad Chris Mitchell is seeing the having the foresight to know that Steve's probably going to be in there. So I need to be able to build a rapport and get on the same page early and often and let the media and Steve know in the media that I'm open. You know, I'm open for you. You know, my shop's never closed for you.
I'm here for you, dog.
Yeah, that's right. And even if it ain't totally true, I'm gonna just say it in the media that we're tight. Yeah, he calls me every night. Like, you know, we gotta We got to start the narratives that we tight on this, so you'll know when the game I got your back.
Bears, let me tell you, boy, the wide receivers will switch up on you quick, boy, because I tell you one thing, the Bears wide receivers were all about Justin Fields about 2 months ago. After one practice last week, oh, this cat Caleb is the greatest thing ever.
Oh yeah, they on Caleb hard.
Oh my God, just his arm talent, it's just his movement. He's so smooth.
Yeah.
Like, man, I think the position now is in much better shape. Like, dude, you were just telling Brian Poles not to draft this dude 2 months ago.
Yeah. They fall in line, man. That first round come around.
Oh man, wide receivers, baby, the prima donnas. The locker room, man, but you have to love them, though. You have to love them, because I'm all about Mr. 4.43. I love Chris Mitchell. Just for the simple fact, like, hey, man, yeah, I'm not a 4.4 dude. Stop disrespecting me.
Stop disrespecting me, man. Let's not even get on that.
Yeah, now I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see it. Lucky Lefty podcast. Your boy, Steve Angeli, his spring.
The most throughout spring, just finally getting an opportunity to get a lot of reps with the ones. I think from a leadership standpoint, to just kind of cement myself and, build that type of rapport with the guys in the locker room. I think that's one. And then two, just really decision making, learning a new offense, but also being able to play fast and work on those things that I've been trying to work on throughout my whole time here.
And then what does your plan for the summer look like? What's on the top of your to-do list?
I'm looking to just keep going, keep working. I'll be back in New Jersey for a little bit. Might travel elsewhere to train, but still just football.
Hey, I don't need you taking no world tour. You stay in city limits. This ain't the time to be running off.
All the players. Cam Williams is back local. The Chicago Bulls are back local for a couple of weeks.
To be traveling
to Europe. Campus.
And these wineries. No, not Steve. Steve can't have one. You can have a breather after this year. But listen, this is not the year to be taking your Italian road trip around the world. No. Stay local. Get in the gym, right? But also the only difference is, you don't become a leader when you get with the one. So that's the only difference I think Steve has to battle with as he gets in to the stretch of things, is that you're a leader before you ever practice with the one. So for leadership, need to be a little bit more cultivated before you jump in there. Like last year, he was Sam's backpack. He was just wherever he was Sam's backpack. So now, because you're with the ones, don't change that yet. Now you got to mix what you're bringing to the stage and meld that with guys around you going into battle. So guys got to believe you. And I think that you've done the little things to get there. Having a successful bowl week, being confident, gaining that confidence as you're going. But that stretch in the season where you're at week 6, 7, they're going to have to see that true you. They're going to see the true leadership come out, because everybody looks good coming out of camp. Everybody's excited about the fresh start of the season, high impact games going on. But when you get into week 6 and 7, where all that falls to the wayside and guys start to, lose a little focus, your leadership is going to have to really stand throughout. And that's where all this is what you've been building up is going to have an effect. So just because you're practicing now with the ones, don't let that be your pseudo confidence, because those same ones can be interchangeable. Guys get hurt, guys stepping up, guys, taking a step back. But you being a one is a mentality, not just a place on the depth chart. So I do think that his strength of leadership is going to show as the season goes on, because, his play may not be the same after the fresh first 3 weeks of the season, when your technique is right and you don't have no class and everything is kind of in-house and you're going against these softball MAC schools. But when you're still going against a Louisville, going against a Florida State, a Clemson, teams that present challenges later in the season, that leadership is going to have to come throughout, because you can't hang on these couple of games that, you had some success in parts and pieces, but now you're going to have to put full games together. And by week 6 or 7, teams are going to know who you are. And that's where that plateau comes from, where you got to find that next level of elevation in your game when teams have figured you out, right? And I'm not saying that they figured Steve out, but by 6 or 7, it's going to be more than, oh, we believe in your arm, man. We love how quick you get it out. It's okay. Teams are going to really lock in on this on you, Steve. So what's your counter punch in this, that, and the third? So I do think that he's in prime position and a good feeling to be in when you know that you have everything in front of you, but you know you're going to have a lot of work ahead as well.
Lefty podcast. Get to the bag. Coach Vic, thank you for the GTB question. Did you read about Jewel Lloyd wanting to leave Notre Dame because she was depressed by the lack of diversity?
What kind of diversity? But also, Jewel was so focused on playing basketball that what are we talking about here? Like, you was on your Kyrie, you know. I remember sitting in class next to you, you watching the Kobe game from the night before, not paying attention to nothing. I knew you wasn't there to graduate. You was there to play basketball. So for it to be only a short time, hell, I think if you would have won a championship or two, I think when you saw us win after you left, it probably was a depressing thing because I thought you and where you were with the team was in a good spot. Come on, Jewel. I was there. I saw you. But, you know, I think that during that time, man, it was getting over the hump season at Notre Dame. Everything was trying to build up to get over that. And the girls' team was going through it at that time. And, hell, we was going through it at that time, you know. So I think that the lack of diversity, I mean, you're only there for 3 years, 4 years anyway. Let's just be serious. That'd be different if you was, you know, in grade school and you was going through pre-K through high school. Okay, that's the lack of that diversity definitely put an impact on you. But them little 3-4 years, man, you ride that out. That's like summer camp. You know, Notre Dame ain't that bad.
I mean, a challenge is a challenge, right? We all have to be approved in life. And in order to be approved, you have to go through some testing. And
That's
as
right.
a young lady, you know, at that age, 17, like most people, like she isn't the first athlete at Notre Dame to talk about the challenge. And Notre Dame's a different place. It's a special place. It challenges you based upon your background. It challenges you in your faith. It challenges you educationally.
Yeah, and it's like, man, you sound like the salty lover, man. Everybody got that. Oh, well, I wouldn't have did 4 years if it wasn't.
See, I have to read the full context of it because I only got like a paragraph. I want to read the entire story before I just give my full thoughts on it. But I didn't get bitterness. I just got this is, you know, during my time and as I've grown.
But it's got to be bitterness considering Notre Dame's been the same before you decided to go to it. You can't tell me you just thought the diversity dropped off.
Well, we know. Come on now. Drake just jumped into a beef where he should have known and he didn't. We know that people walk into situations where they should know and somehow, some way,
but Drake knew. He
know.
just didn't care. That's the same thing with you. Drew knew. She just didn't care because
I think his arrogance took him to a mental space where he felt like, nah, I'm not worried. And he should have been worried. I think that's what really happened. But man, Green Man, thank you for the GTB question. How good is Coach Denbrock?
As good as anybody would be with good players around him. You know, it's the same as like Doc Rivers is really good when he got Kevin Durant and a Kyrie and a James. You know what I mean? When you get those specific players, you can.
You have your rarities. You have your rarities that can win. Like
Mike Malone. Is Mike Malone a great coach, or has he got the perfect chemistry and combination of guys that make it hard to beat? Because Denver is a really flushed out team.
Let me tell you what Mike Malone and his adjustments from game 2 to game 3 proved his mettle. See, for me, winning the first championship is not, I don't want to say it's easy, but like when you have the pieces that you're alluding to left, I got the pieces. But to come back with those pieces and to lose the depth you had on the bench last year and now to try and do it all over again in a different way.
They got depth on the bench now.
But no, from a coaching standpoint, no, Peyton Watson is not. Hold on.
Energy guy. He's an energy guy.
Brown is a big difference between Bruce Brown and Peyton Watson.
Yes.
And Christian
Peyton
Brown.
Watson fits to what they asking him to do.
But see, Peyton Watson was out of his range in games 1 and 2. That's why they went to Justin Holiday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he has proved his mettle to me in the way they responded to adversity. And I think that's what coaching comes into play, right? When adversity hits, what do you have to go to? What can you give your guys to lock on to say, okay, this is how we're going to answer everything that they've done?
Like, I think Eric Spoelstra is a great coach.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they do it without 2 or 3 superstars at a time.
Absolutely.
And then you look at guys like Frank Vogel, where they win, and the next year you're getting fired. So is it the players or is it your coaching, or are you the scapegoat? Some shit. Sometimes it ain't even. That's how Mike Brown was for a long time.
Absolutely. And we're waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
For Marcus Freeman to declare, okay, are you a great coach? Can you?
This is year 1 and 2. I can't even, that's like when he had his first game coming out against Oklahoma State in the bowl game. It's like, yeah, we see differences, but we're not going to judge your whole coaching career because this ain't your team.
You know who else is a great coach? Rick Carlisle is a great coach to me.
Oh, for the Mavs? Or no. He's with
the Pacers now.
Pacers now, yeah. That's
like
right.
Wherever he goes, that team.
I mean, they put it on. They put on the Knicks yesterday.
So he's a great coach. He only has 1 championship, but he's, in my opinion, man, Rick Carlisle should be very respected in the coaching rank.
I mean, you doing it with Indiana. They ain't been right since Paul George.
Shout out to our guy, Jay Henry. Doing well, fellas, man. Celebrated the moms this weekend and then graduated with my master's. Jay Henry.
Oh, congratulations, man.
My dude, congratulations, man. That's a great accomplishment, man. Eternal blessings and favor in everything you do. Elizabeth Crook, Sean, do you remember how Chicago lit up when the Bulls won their first championship in 91? Chicago was lit. Are you kidding me? I was out of school for 2 straight days. I ain't gonna
What's the second day excuse, though? What's the second day excuse?
What do you mean?
2 days? I get the first day.
2 days. 2 days. They won on a Wednesday night. That Friday, nope.
That was a consolation. Like, we already at the end of the week.
And then that Monday, after celebrating over the weekend, I was like, man, I'm not going to school. No, bro. No. Come on, bro. No. That's why I don't get mad at celebrations, dude. That's why Bron keeps fiending for this celebration in LA. You're not getting it.
Oh my God.
You're not getting it, bro. No parade for you. Hey, I have one request out of this entire thing we experienced the last 2 weeks. And I'm talking directly to Chicago's own. Not Chicago's own, but he did marry someone from Chicago and spend some time here. Al Green, I'm going to need you to get consent on 6/16 in LA so they can put it up on streaming services, my brother. Okay? As the start of the song says, right now you're tripping and you own one. You own one. I don't know, dude. You don't need the money. You feel disrespected because your track is being used in the beef. Do you know how many disrespectful songs have been put over Al Green loops?
Over Al Green?
In the history of hip hop? Now you have a problem with Kendrick? And give the release, man. Let the music live.
Let the music live.
I'm tired of playing everything in the beef and having to go to YouTube to play 6/16.
Yeah. I got all the beef songs on Apple Music. Then I got to go to YouTube.
I got to go to YouTube to hear 6/16. That petty train. Al Green, you on the petty train today, bro.
All them old heads are petty on sampling their music. All of them. Man. They all act like they. I mean, I get it.
You know who else? All these old heads, man. Russell Simmons, Questlove, Ed
Talk about the beef is corny. What are you
y'all
talking
corny.
About?
Y'all can't love it. You ran with Pop. This literally the first line. This dude said he slept with the man's wife. And we're still trying to see whether or not it's true. What are you talking about? Yeah. That was corny, but it was cool. It was cool for you back then. Man, go do your little show on satellite, man. And be happy that you're still relevant in the game. The game is still feeding you and your family, bro.
That's what it is. They just want to be these high road taking, learn their lessons through life homies. Where it's like that's not how y'all was when y'all were younger.
Man,
so don't be my hotness Gandhi right now.
Crazy. Now there is some pettiness to it, you know, but hey, it is what it is. When you don't know how to disseminate information properly, when you can't listen to another artist's song and understand what's really being said, and then try to come back and you spew out the wrong information about what the music was saying, and you're calling it a diss, that lets you know.
But I think it's come out enough that where everybody's saying that they both had information that wasn't all the way accurate. Like Drake was surprised at the information about his daughter thing that he just played on and said it was fake, and then Kendrick might have
stop that. He lied. He went through this whole thing. I gave him the information. He got mauled.
That's what I'm saying. He lied for sure.
He got mauled. He got Maul and Ack out there just looking dumb.
Oh, got Maul looking crazy. Maul yelling on the mic. He got Maul yelling on the mic.
Man, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We got a couple of guests for you guys this week, man. Dig in Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple, Spotify, CFB Nation, Patreon.com/, Lucky Lefty Network. Lock in, subscribe on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. We appreciate you guys. We're back in the building. Nobody does it like Lucky Lefty Podcast. We're forever committed to spinning it different. For Left, SD2 mics. Have a great Monday, Left. This All-American is getting real interesting, dude. I don't know if you've been, yeah, bro. I'm gonna have to lock in, man. We'll talk about it. Hey, BMF, man, is dude. Shout out to my boy who played his dad in the club, who played Prime in the club. Shout out to Shiloh.
Shiloh.
You did a good job. You did a good job.
He did look like him, though. He
did. Three's Company on Wednesday. Guest this week. We're keeping it heated. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Have a great Monday.